The emergency lights flashed across the Grand Council chamber, casting red shadows on the faces of 20 different alien species. Captain Reed watched from his observer's seat as panic spread through the gathered representatives. His tentacles curled in worry. This was the 4th attack this week. "They've hit the Blue Mist trading station," announced First Speaker Tom, his crystalline form vibrating with stress. "No survivors. Again." Reed's upper eyes closed in pain. He had stopped at Blue Mist just 2 weeks ago. The station's manager had given him fresh drinks and told jokes about space travelers. Now they were all gone. On the main screen, security footage showed dark ships appearing from nowhere. The pirates moved like shadows, their black vessels reflecting no light. Standard weapons bounced off their hulls like rain. Reed had seen the same thing 3 days ago, when they attacked his own ship, the Starlight. "Our military vessels can't keep up with them," said Admiral White, his scaled skin turning pale blue with frustration. "They're using technology we've never seen before. They take no prisoners, leave no traces, and ignore all attempts at communication." The council chamber erupted in worried voices. Some representatives floated in their gravity bubbles. Others stood on their many legs, and a few existed as pure energy forms. But they all shared the same fear. "What about the defense treaty?" asked a glowing ball of green light. "We have 10,000 ships." Admiral White shook his head. "These pirates, they're different. They fight in ways we don't understand. They operate in vacuum without protection. They walk through radiation zones like they're taking a stroll in a park. Our weapons don't stop them. It's like they're not even afraid of death." In the back of the chamber, Marcus sat quietly. He was one of the youngest diplomats, barely 50 years old. While others shouted suggestions and arguments, he remembered something he had read in the Forbidden Archives. There was another species that could do those things. A species that evolved on a planet that tried to kill them every day. A world with high gravity, deadly predators, extreme temperatures, and constant natural disasters. Their bodies were built to survive things that would kill most galactic citizens instantly. "What about the humans?" Marcus spoke up, his voice carrying through the chamber. Silence fell like a heavy blanket. Even the floating energy beings seemed to dim. "The Deathworlders." First Speaker Tom's crystal form turned dark with shock. "They were quarantined for a reason. They're too dangerous, too unpredictable. They enjoy fighting. They seek out challenge and conflict. Some of them do dangerous things just for fun." "Exactly," Marcus said, standing up. His blue skin glowed with excitement. "The pirates are doing things we can't handle because we evolved on safe worlds. But humans come from Earth. They call it a Class 12 death world. They can breathe toxic air, survive in radiation, fight in any gravity, and keep going even when badly hurt." Admiral White's scales shifted to a thoughtful purple. "I remember the quarantine reports. A human once survived 3 days in space with just a broken emergency suit. Another lifted a crashed shuttle to save their friends. They can break their bones and keep fighting. But they're violent." Someone shouted. "They have wars." "They also have peace," Marcus countered. "They fight to protect others. Right now, we need someone who knows how to fight. The pirates are destroying peaceful stations, killing innocent traders. Maybe we need someone who understands violence to stop violence." First Speaker Tom vibrated for a long moment. The emergency lights continued to flash, reminding everyone of the dangers spreading through their once peaceful space. "Young Marcus might be right," Tom finally said. "We face something we don't understand. Something that doesn't follow our rules of civilization. Perhaps we need help from those who understand the chaos of a death world." Captain Reed's tentacles stretched forward in agreement. He had seen the pirates up close, had seen them walk through vacuum like it was nothing. "The humans couldn't be worse than what's killing us now," he said quietly. The council chamber grew quiet again, but this time it was different. This silence held something new, hope. First Speaker Tom's crystal form glowed bright. Then let it be recorded. In this time of crisis, we vote to contact Earth. May the stars help us all. The diplomatic ship dropped out of light speed near the edge of Earth's solar system. Inside, Marcus felt his heart beating faster. Through the view screen, he could see the blue-green planet that everyone in the galaxy feared. Final warning, the ship's computer announced. Earth is a Class 12 death world. Standard environmental suits will not protect against local conditions. First Speaker Tom's crystal form dimmed slightly. Show us the human records again. The screen filled with images that made the diplomatic team uncomfortable. Humans climbing frozen mountains without breathing help. Humans diving into deep oceans. Humans running through fires to save others. Humans lifting heavy weights that would crush most aliens. They're much stronger than they look, Marcus explained to the team. Earth's gravity is 3 times stronger than Council standard. Their bones are dense as metal, and their muscles never stop growing stronger. And they chose to stay this way, muttered Admiral White. We offered them genetic adjustment centuries ago. They refused, said they liked being tough. The ship's communication system crackled. Unidentified vessel, this is Earth Defense Command. You have entered restricted space. Identify yourself. Even their voices sounded strong, Marcus thought. He pressed the reply button. Earth Defense Command, this is Council Diplomatic Vessel, Hope of Peace. We request emergency meeting with your leaders. There was a long pause. Request granted. Follow our escort to Landing Zone 1. Through the view screen, they watched 2 human ships appear. They were ugly by Council standards, all sharp angles and thick armor, built for function rather than beauty, just like the humans themselves. The landing was rough. Earth's gravity pulled at them like thick soup. The diplomatic team needed support suits just to walk. Through the landing pad's windows, they could see humans moving easily, carrying heavy equipment like it weighed nothing. Welcome to Earth, said a tall human in a blue uniform. I'm Commander Jane Stone. We're curious why the Council broke the quarantine after 200 years. Marcus stepped forward on shaking legs. Even with his support suit, Earth's gravity made him feel weak. Commander, we need help. Something is attacking our trading posts. Something that fights like you. Stone's face showed no emotion, but her eyes narrowed slightly. The Council members flinched. On their worlds, showing teeth was a threat, but humans did it all the time. They called it smiling. Show me, Stone said. They played the attack recordings. Stone watched without moving, her face getting darker with each scene. When they showed the pirates walking through vacuum without suits, she cursed. Another strange human habit. Those aren't normal tactics, she said. No one fights like that unless they evolve for it, like we did. She turned to her aide. Get me the old records. Before the quarantine. The aide returned with a datapad. Stone's face got even darker as she read. You're not the first to ask for help, she said. 200 years ago, we tried to warn the Council. Told them there were other Deathworld species out there. Not all of them were friendly. The Council called us paranoid. Said we were too violent. Locked us in our system. Marcus felt his heart sink. We were wrong, he said simply. Stone looked at him for a long moment. Then she did the teeth-showing thing again. Smiled. Yes, you were, but humans don't hold grudges. Much, and we hate bullies more than we hate being proved right. She pressed a button on her uniform. This is Commander Stone. Alert the first response team. We're going hunting. First Speaker Tom vibrated with relief. You'll help us. On 2 conditions, Stone said. First, the quarantine ends. Earth joins the Council as a full member. Second, we do this our way. No complaints about human methods. The Council members looked at each other. They had no choice. Marcus knew it. They all knew it. Agreed, First Speaker Tom said. Stone's smile got wider. More teeth showing. Good. Now let me show you what a Deathworlder can really do. The Council Station's meeting room fell silent as Commander Stone's team walked in. There were 5 humans, all wearing simple black uniforms without environmental suits. Marcus watched as they moved with easy grace despite the artificial gravity being set to Council standard, far lighter than Earth's pull. "These are my best people," Stone said. She pointed to each one. "Jack runs our combat team. Bill is our tech expert. Mary handles medical and biology. Rob and Pete are our space warfare specialists." Captain Reed's tentacles curled in surprise. The humans looked small. Most dangerous species in the galaxy were huge, with claws or armor. These humans just looked soft and pink. "Show them the pirate ship we found," Admiral White ordered. The room's main screen lit up with images of a dead ship floating in space. Its hull was torn open, atmosphere venting into vacuum. "Standard procedure is to wait for repair crews with environmental suits," Admiral White explained. "The radiation levels air." He stopped talking as Jack stepped through the airlock into the damaged ship. The council members gasped. The human wore only a thin breathing mask, no radiation suit, no gravity boots. "Radiation is high but manageable." Jack's voice came through the video feed. "Gravity's dead. Air's gone. Temperature's -100. I can work with this." Marcus saw first Speaker Tom's crystal form flicker with shock. But the conditions are normal for space combat." Stone finished. "Humans train for this. Our bodies can handle radiation better than most species. Cold doesn't stop us. No gravity just makes us more creative." On the screen, Jack pulled himself through the ship's broken corridors. His hands gripped torn metal that would have cut through an alien's environment suit. When he reached a blocked door, he simply pulled it open, a task that usually needed heavy machinery. "Found something," Jack reported. He held up a small black device. "Looks like their ship's log." Bill, the tech expert, plugged the device into the station's computers. "Their language is new, but their code isn't. Give me an hour." While they waited, Mary walked around the room studying the different alien species. She pulled out a small scanner, making notes. The council members nervously moved away from her. "Fascinating," she said to Stone. "Their biology explains everything. All council species evolved on safe worlds. Their bodies never needed to develop defenses against radiation, extreme temperatures, or toxins. That's why the pirates are winning." Stone said. "They're using the environment as a weapon. Space itself kills their enemies." Bill's computer beeped. "Got it. Playing their last log entry." A harsh voice filled the room. The pirates spoke in short, angry sounds, but thanks to Bill's work, everyone could understand them. "Council ships are weak. Their crews die too easily. Soon we will control all trade routes. Nothing can stop us. We are the strong. We air." The log cut off as Rob slammed his hand on the table. The heavy metal surface dented under his fingers. "Bullies," he growled. "They're just bullies picking on weaker people." Pete nodded in agreement. "They think being tough means being cruel. Let's show them what real Deathworlders can do." Stone smiled at her team's reaction. She turned to the council members, who were staring at the dented table with wide eyes. "Here's our plan," she said. "The pirates think they're the strongest because they can survive in space. But humans, we've been surviving in space and everywhere else since we first crawled out of our oceans." She pointed to the star map. "We'll hit their next target before they arrive. But we won't hide in ships. We'll wait in space. Let them think the station is defenseless. And when they come in close, they'll learn what Earth's gravity and predators taught us." Jack finished, cracking his knuckles. Another human habit that made the aliens flinch. Marcus watched the humans planning, their eyes bright with excitement. For the first time, he understood why his people had feared them. But now, watching them prepare to fight for people they barely knew, he understood something else too. Sometimes the strongest protectors were the ones everyone else feared. "When do we start?" First Speaker Tom asked. Commander Stone checked her watch. We already have. Pete, show them. Pete tapped his computer. On the main screen, 10 more human ships appeared from stealth mode near the station. The hunt, Stone said, has begun. The trading station floated in space, looking helpless and dark. Inside the hidden observation room, Marcus watched as Commander Stone's team made their final preparations. The humans moved with quiet purpose, checking their minimal equipment one last time. Enemy ships detected, the station's computer announced. 5 vessels approaching at high speed. Remember, Stone said to her team, we're not just fighting, we're teaching. The Council forces need to learn how to handle these pirates. Through the window, Marcus saw the pirate ships emerge from the darkness. They were black, sleek, and deadly, just like the ones that had attacked his people so many times before. But this time was different. This time, they had humans waiting. Now, Stone commanded. The observation room screen showed something Marcus could barely believe. Human warriors in light spacesuits pushed off from the station's hull, where they had been hiding. They looked tiny against the massive pirate ships. Impossible, Admiral White whispered. They're spacewalking into combat. Watch and learn, Jack said with a grin. He was leading the outside team. The pirates, expecting an easy target, never saw the danger until it was too late. The humans used small thrusters to glide between the enemy ships. They moved like they were born in zero gravity, spinning and diving through the vacuum. First lesson, Stone explained to the watching council members. Space itself is a weapon. Use it. Jack's team reached the nearest pirate ship. Instead of complex cutting tools, they simply pulled open external panels with their enhanced strength. Marcus watched in amazement as they disappeared inside the enemy vessel through holes that would have been too small for suited aliens. Second lesson, Stone continued. Bigger isn't always better. Sometimes you need to be small and quick. Inside the pirate ship, emergency alarms blared. The ship's crew, still hidden behind their dark screens, had never expected enemies to board them directly through space. The humans moved through their corridors like water, adapting instantly to the ship's artificial gravity. They're not wearing proper armor. First Speaker Tom observed, his crystal form vibrating with concern. Don't need it, Rob replied as he disabled another pirate with a quick strike. Earth gravity makes our bones nearly unbreakable. Our muscles are dense enough to stop most weapons. The battle lasted less than 20 minutes. When it was over, 4 pirate ships floated dead in space. The 5th was captured intact, its crew locked in their own holding cells. Final lesson, Stone said to the amazed council members, never underestimate adaptability. Humans don't win because we're stronger. We win because we never stop learning new ways to fight. Admiral White's scales had turned bright blue with excitement. Can you teach our forces to do this? Not exactly like this, Stone admitted. You didn't evolve on Earth. You can't match our physical capabilities. But we can teach you to think like us. To use your environment. To turn weakness into strength. In the captured pirate ship, Mary was studying the enemy crew through a cell window. Her face showed concern. Commander, she called over the radio. You need to see this. Stone walked to the cell, Marcus following close behind. Through the window, they could see the captured pirates clearly for the first time. Their skin was gray and scaled, their eyes large and black. But what caught Marcus's attention was the strange movement under their skin, like something was crawling beneath it. That's not natural, Stone said quietly. Mary, full bioskin. Now. Mary pulled out her scanner. As the beam passed over the pirates, her face went pale. These aren't pirates, she said. They're hosts. Something is living inside them, controlling them. Marcus felt his heart skip a beat. You mean? Yes, Stone said grimly. This isn't just about piracy anymore. We're dealing with a parasite, something that can take over other species. She turned to Marcus. The whole galaxy could be at risk. In the cell, the captured pirates began to laugh. a horrible empty sound that echoed through the corridors. "Too late," they said in unison. "We are already everywhere." Stone's face hardened. She touched her communicator. "All teams, new protocol. This just became a containment operation. The real war is just beginning." Mary's laboratory on the council station hummed with activity. Screens showed magnified images of the strange parasites found in the captured pirates. Commander Stone stood with Marcus and First Speaker Tom, watching as Mary explained her findings. "It's unlike anything we've seen before," Mary said, pointing to a writhing creature under the microscope. "The parasite attaches to the host's nervous system. It takes complete control." On another screen, they could see inside a pirate's body. The parasite had spread through every major organ, like black roots growing through soil. "Why didn't our medical scans detect this?" First Speaker Tom asked, his crystal form dimming with worry. "Because it hides," Mary explained. "The parasite adapts to its host's biology. It becomes part of them. But here's the interesting part. It can't infect humans." The room went quiet. Commander Stone leaned forward. "Explain." Mary brought up a new image. It showed the parasite trying to attach to human tissue and failing. "Earth's wildlife taught humans to be tough. Our immune systems fight off thousands of diseases every day. Our bodies are too hostile for these parasites. That's why they avoided Earth," Marcus realized. "They couldn't control humans, so they made the Council fear them instead. Kept them quarantined." Stone's face darkened. "Smart. They removed the one species that could spot them. How far has the infection spread?" Mary looked nervous. "I checked the records of all council meetings for the past year. 30% of council representatives show signs of unusual behavior. They could already be infected." First Speaker Tom vibrated in horror. "The council, our leaders, are compromised," Stone finished. She turned to Marcus. "We need to act fast, but quietly. If the parasites know we've discovered them." An alarm blared through the station. Red lights flashed in every corridor. "Security breach in detention level," a voice announced. "The pirates' air." The message cut off in static. Stone was already moving, her team falling in behind her. "They know," she said. "Mary, seal your lab. Tom, Marcus, stay here. This is about to get ugly." Through the lab windows, they watched as more alarms triggered across the station. Screens showed people running in panic. Some were fighting. Others were changing, their skin rippling as hidden parasites revealed themselves. "Look at the infection pattern," Mary said, studying her screens. "It's spreading through the station's ventilation system." But she smiled suddenly. "It won't work." "Why not?" Marcus asked, his heart racing. "Because this station was modified for human visitors," Mary explained. "We required Earth-standard air filtration. Our filters are too fine for the parasite spores." Stone's voice came through the communicator. "Mary, we found their nest. They were hiding in the lower levels, spreading through the water system. But they can't handle the human-grade disinfectants we added last week." Marcus watched in amazement as the humans turned the station's new systems installed just to handle their dangerous biology, into weapons against the parasites. "The parasites made one big mistake," Stone continued. "They thought our quarantine was about keeping humans contained. They never realized it was also about making us stronger." Through the windows, Marcus saw human teams moving through infected areas without environmental suits. Their natural resistance let them fight while protected species had to hide. The parasites had no defense against enemies they couldn't infect. "Send this data to Earth," Stone ordered, "and get me the Council emergency channel. The clean members need to know what they're facing." First Speaker Tom moved closer to the screens. "The Council will resist. The infected members will try to stop us." "Let them try," Stone said firmly. "Humans don't just fight with strength. We fight with knowledge, with determination, with everything our deadly world taught us." She looked at the scattered reports coming in from across the galaxy. More stations were reporting infections. More systems were going dark. We didn't evolve on a death world by accident, Stone said quietly. We evolved there because only the strongest survive. And now, she turned to Marcus with that strange human smile. Now we're going to teach the galaxy how to survive too. In the lab, Mary's screen showed more data from infected worlds. The parasites had spread far, but they had never faced anything like humans before. The real war was about to begin. And this time, humanity wouldn't be fighting alone. The Earth Defense Command war room was packed with both humans and aliens. Marcus stood beside Commander Stone as she revealed humanity's plan to fight the parasites. Every infected world shows the same pattern, Stone said, pointing to the giant star map. Red dots marked infected systems, while blue showed clean ones. The parasites need three things to spread: darkness, moisture, and warm bodies. And those are three things humans know how to fight, Jack added. He stood near a table covered with new equipment. Welcome to Operation Cleanse. Bill held up a small device that glowed with ultraviolet light. On Earth, we use UV light to kill germs. These portable units will do the same to parasite spores. They can't survive direct exposure. But the infected people. First Speaker Tom began. Will be saved, Mary interrupted. She pulled up medical scans on the main screen. The parasites hide in their hosts' nervous systems, but they can't handle sudden changes in body temperature. We can force them out without harming the host. Admiral White's scales flickered with hope. How many worlds can we save? All of them, Stone said firmly. She pressed a button, and the map zoomed out to show hundreds of human ships moving into position. Earth has been preparing for threats like this for centuries. Now we're going to share everything we learned. The room watched as Stone outlined the battle plan. Human ships would deliver special teams to each infected world. These teams would work with local forces to identify and cure infected individuals. The parasites think they're the perfect invaders, Rob explained as he checked his equipment. But humans, we've been fighting invasive species on Earth since before we could walk upright. This is just another day for us. Marcus watched as the first teams prepared to leave. Each human carried minimal gear, just their natural strength, enhanced immune systems, and the new anti-parasite tools. Remember, Stone addressed the teams. We're not just fighting. We're teaching. Every world we save needs to learn how to protect itself. Share your knowledge. Show them how to be strong. The mission began immediately. On the main screen, reports started coming in from across the galaxy. On a water world, human divers worked without pressure suits, their bodies naturally resistant to the crushing depths where parasites hid. They placed UV emitters in the dark zones, driving the parasites from their nests. In a crowded space station, Jack's team used thermal imaging to spot infected individuals. The parasites couldn't hide from technology designed to track Earth's deadliest predators. Mary led a team transforming medical centers into cleansing stations. They used controlled temperature changes, something humans could easily survive, to safely remove parasites from their hosts. The parasites are trying to adapt, Bill reported, studying new data. But they can't match our rate of evolution. Earth threw everything it had at us for millions of years. We're built to overcome. Even as infected individuals were cured, humans taught local species how to protect themselves. They shared Earth's medical knowledge, survival techniques, and defense strategies. Look, Marcus said, pointing to the map. The red dots were turning blue one by one. Stone nodded with satisfaction. Humanity's greatest strength isn't our tough bodies or strong immune systems. It's our ability to learn, adapt, and teach others. Suddenly, alarms blared. The main screen showed a massive concentration of infected ships gathering near the galactic core. They're desperate, Stone said. The parasites are calling all their hosts for one final battle. First Speaker Tom's crystal form pulsed with worry. Can we stop such a large force? Stone smiled that special human smile, the one that showed teeth but meant friendship. We won't have to fight alone. She gestured to the screen, where ships from every cleaned world were gathering. We taught them how to resist. Now they'll fight beside us. The war room buzzed with activity as Stone gave new orders. Human ships moved to join their allies. The final battle was approaching, but something had changed in the galaxy. The parasites had wanted to create fear. Instead, they had forged something stronger: unity. Stone looked at Marcus, ready to show the galaxy what happens when you stand together against a common enemy. Marcus stood straighter, inspired by human courage. "Ready, Commander. Let's finish this." The final battle raged around the galactic core. Marcus watched from the command ship as human vessels fought alongside alien ships from 100 different worlds. It was a sight no one could have imagined just months ago. "Parasite mothership detected," Bill announced, his fingers flying over the control panel. "It's huge, bigger than anything we've seen before." On the main screen, a massive black ship emerged from behind a cluster of stars. It was organic-looking, more like a floating creature than a vessel. Smaller infected ships swarmed around it like angry insects. "That's their hub," Commander Stone said, studying the readings. "The source of their hive mind. Take it out, and the whole parasite network falls." But reaching it seemed impossible. The mothership was surrounded by waves of infected vessels, all fighting with the desperate strength of controlled hosts. "Remember your training." Stone's voice rang through the fleet's communication system. "Use everything we taught you." Marcus watched in amazement as the Allied fleet moved like one body. Ships from water worlds dove through space like they were swimming in deep oceans. High-gravity species used their powerful engines to ram through enemy lines. Light-gravity species performed impossible maneuvers in the zero-G environment. "They learned well," Jack said proudly. "Every species using their natural strengths, just like we taught them." The human ships led the charge, their crews protected by their natural resistance to the parasites. They punched holes through the enemy formation, creating paths for their allies to follow. "Commander," Mary's voice came urgently through the comm. "The mothership, it's trying to release spores into space. If those spread—" "They won't," Stone said firmly. She turned to her crew. "Time for humanity's last lesson. Rob, Pete, show them why Earth's gravity made us strong." 2 human ships accelerated toward the mothership. The crews had removed everything except engines and structural support, making their ships into massive battering rams. "No species hits harder than a Deathworlder." Rob's voice came through, calm and confident. "Because nothing hits harder than Earth." The human ships struck the mothership's hull at full speed. Their Earth-built frames, designed to withstand 3 times normal gravity, tore through the organic material like spears. "Now, Mary," Stone commanded. Mary's medical ship launched special pods into the breaches. They burst open, releasing waves of ultraviolet light and temperature changes inside the mothership. The parasites had nowhere to hide. The mothership's surface began to ripple and crack. Across the battlefield, infected ships suddenly stopped moving as their controlling parasites died. "The hive mind is breaking," Bill reported. "The hosts are being freed." Marcus felt his heart soar as cheers erupted across the Allied fleet. The last pieces of the mothership drifted apart. Its threat ended forever. Hours later, in the council chamber, things were very different from that first fearful meeting. Representatives from all worlds, previously infected and free, gathered to mark a new beginning. "The quarantine of Earth is officially ended," First Speaker Tom announced, his crystal form glowing brightly. "Humanity is welcomed as full members of the galactic community." Commander Stone stood with her team, looking slightly uncomfortable with all the attention. "We only did what anyone would do," she said. "Protect others who needed help." "No," Marcus stepped forward. "You did more. You taught us not to fear difference, but to learn from it. You showed us that strength comes in many forms." Admiral White, his scales now a proud golden color, raised his voice. "Let it be recorded in all histories. When chaos threatened our galaxy, we called the Deathworlders, and they answered not with destruction, but with protection, not with fear, but with teaching, not with conquest, but with unity. Stone smiled, and this time no one flinched at her showing teeth. That's what Earth taught us, she said. The universe is filled with dangers, but together we can face anything. Around the chamber, representatives from 100 worlds stood together. Former enemies, now allies. Former victims, now warriors. All thanks to the species they had once feared. So, Stone turned to Marcus with a glint in her eye, ready to learn more Deathworld survival tricks. Earth has plenty to share. Marcus stood proudly beside his human friends. Teach us everything, he said. The galaxy is stronger when we learn from each other. And in that moment, Marcus knew the chaos hadn't defeated them. It had made them stronger together.